All right, I thought I'd make a fun supplemental video. So here I just went over to Midjourney and started playing with it. I did just a search in Midjourney and found this pirate fox. Again, if you go to the Midjourney homepage, you can actually explore images just by searching for them there. But I use the create tools. It looks like, actually I had to create it, as you can see, 3 different times. I forgot to tell it behind the bar in the first one, and the second one I told it behind the bar and it just didn't do it. And by the third one, I finally got one image where I got kind of what I wanted. It's a little more odd of an art style, a little more painterly in most of it than I probably have in my bear. But again, we could use this image if I wanted to inside that Photoshop one. I could do something just as simple as like copy this image and come over to, again, Photoshop. Anything would be better than what we have here, huh? And let's paste that in there. Let's kind of see if we can shrink her down to about the size we're looking at. That's not terrible. All right, and then kind of play with it. Let's try to use mostly just the AI tools. So again, I'm going to use my select object tool to see if it's going to work on this one. Not bad. Looks like it didn't get the arm, so let's hold on shift and click on it to add to it. I'm going to go ahead and grab this picture because she's holding the picture, so that seems obvious, like it should be a part of it. And that looks pretty good, so let's copy and paste. Again, we'll turn off that. Obviously this is not right? Let's put her in here. If I wanted to keep the kind of edge of this bar, I might be able to do that. That could be tricky though. Maybe we'll just leave it like that. Again, we're going to use that same trick. I'm going to select her and then I'm going to select inverse to grab everything else. Now here, I got the girl. She looks pretty good. She might be a little big actually, so maybe I want to shrink her down just a little bit. I feel like this guy's a bear, this is a fox, maybe she'd be a little smaller. All right, we'll say that's good enough. All right, so I'm going to click again. I'm going to hold down Control and click on the thumbnail to select her. I'm going to go ahead and select inverse to select everything, not her. Now, I don't want to fill everything because I want this guy, right? So here I'm going to just basically say, well, what do I want, what I don't want? And use these selection tools. So I'm going to deselect this, deselect some of this, try to deselect some of this. I don't want to get this arm thing in here. If I like the top part here, I definitely want to make sure I don't deselect this creepy person floating in the back there. But we'll say something like that, right? And then again, we're going to do generative fill and just hit generate and let's see what we get. Okay, no prompting. Again, the generative fill by itself usually works pretty good. So I also didn't go in any. Whoa, that's creepy. Look what it did there. There's not terrible, but we really are losing a lot of the bar, and I don't even know what it's trying to do with this thing. So maybe we try clicking generate again, because I have no idea what's going on with some of this. Again, it's kind of like cutting her through the middle. Let's turn this into some sort of monster thing. I don't know what's happening. All right, there, it's got the bar looking all right. I don't know what is the deal with this though. So, you know, again, this is a smart object. We might, again, need to play with it. I'll just delete that, and again, we're gonna maybe go back to our image here and just, you know, erase it, I think is what I'm gonna do again. Yep, convert. Let's see what we got. So maybe I'll erase that, or, you know, maybe instead of that, let's just go ahead and leave it. And we'll just drag our generative layer fill beneath the character and then erase the original character a little bit. So some spots here where it looks a little funky. I might have to leave that hand. It's done some weirdness with the hand. So we're doing a little bit more, I would say, work, you know, than ideal. You know, of course we want to do everything, right? But you know, we're having to do a little bit more Photoshop work. But I think, you know, that's where things turn out nice because we can combine traditional Photoshop skills and elements and these different pieces. So again, we've got our character we've created. We got this other thing behind it. And again, here it doesn't quite line up. I might erase here a little bit. You know, if I wanted to erase this part and kind of add in these bottles, I could, but they look rough, you know. Might not be a bad idea to get rid of these obviously AI generated bottles if they're not going to be very good. You know, again, like this thing, I don't really know what that thing's supposed to be. So maybe I might select this stuff here and again, do it again. Anyway, you can see, hopefully, again, these tools can be really cool. They can be fun to play with. They can be productive and part of your workflow. You know, they're interesting in the way they work because sometimes I feel like they work really well and sometimes we end up with some odd stylistic choices. You know, but there we are. Of course, if you've used Photoshop in the past, utilizing the Photoshop skills that you've been using the whole time can definitely make these things work out even better. But again, some really cool tools. They're only going to get better. And, you know, again, as they do get better, we'll be able to do even more with them. So hopefully you enjoyed these videos.